These trucks are about to cross a country that you cannot find on any map. Yet it has a real border, with real uniformed customs agents. The customs demand a tax for everything and check everyone that enters, just like in a real country. There's even a visa office, open for just 3 hours a day. Best not to waste time if you want one. Hey, wait, it's my turn. Without the visa, border police won't let you into their country, a country not recognized by any other state in the world. Somaliland is a spit of land as large as England, between Djibouti, Ethiopia and Somalia, from which it succeeded 20 years ago. The UN has never acknowledged it as a new state. It's a no-man's land that truckers cross at their own peril. Unpaved roads and straying off track is worse than Russian roulette. Thousands of mines from the region's civil war dot the desert terrain. Last month, a truck blew up. This is all that's left of it. They were all killed. Given the danger, it's impossible to buy insurance for the vehicles, their cargo, and their drivers. Any arguments out here are resolved with Kalashnikovs. Look, they shot at me. The windscreen blew in. Despite the risks, there are many who brave the 350 kilometers to reach Hargeisa, Somaliland's principal city, with merchandise that is shipped into the port of Djibouti. Over the border from Djibouti, the first town is Zayla, a mass of ruins, with 10,000 inhabitants. It's a key staging post for the truck drivers. "6 a.m. and the desert adventurers are waking up. Rashid, who's 42, makes the trip to the capital twice a week. My truck is my house. It's my bed. It's my work. It's my life, really. Before setting off, Rashid needs to pay the transport taxes. His company's representative brings the cash, which is inside this canvas bag. It seems a lot, but in fact, it's not. Somaliland's currency is almost worthless. It takes 10 kilos of money to pay the road tax, which is the equivalent of about $1,300. Inside, the customs officer doesn't know where to put the morning's take. That's 500,000 Somaliland shillings, 500,000, which is worth just over $65. To save time, the officials no longer count the number of notes, but judge them by their width. It's best to have the exact amount, as the change itself could also weigh several kilos. Okay, this should do it. Thanks very much. Most of the cargo that Rashid and the other truckers transport is not destined for Somaliland. Carpets, foodstuff, the latest TVs, just crossed the territory and are headed for Ethiopia, Somaliland's powerful neighbour. No foreign driver wants to risk making the crossing. We're the kings of transport. Rashid's truck is 35 years old. All of it seems to have been patched up. Well, the tyres look okay. That one's good. It's nothing short of a miracle that it still runs. Listen, pump up the spare tyre for me, would you? Parts are only replaced when they break. This one's fine. Yeah, that one too. Apart from the tyres, which are changed every month, even if they're still roadworthy. A puncture or a burst tyre in the middle of the desert could be fatal. Rashid travels with a mechanic and 2 passengers. By 8 in the morning, the temperature begins to rise. The sun has caused the thermometer to show a constant 50 degrees Celsius. The heat means you don't even sweat. Everything just evaporates. How long will it take? How long? That depends. If all goes well, we can cover the 350 kilometers in 2 or 3 days. 350 kilometers in 72 hours if all goes to plan. Look over there. That truck shouldn't be there. I know the driver. So what's wrong? Oh, the clutch is broken. Well, how did that happen then? Oh, we need to get your truck out of the way. It's blocking the track. Other vehicles could hit you. That doesn't seem possible. How could he cause an accident? His truck can be spotted a long distance off, and there's so much space here, it should be easy to go around him. But in the desert, appearances are deceptive. Under the thin crust of fine earth lies quicksand. Leave one of the beaten tracks, and you'll get stuck in the sand. The drivers don't take any chances and move at top speed. Rashid, his mechanic, and the driver try to fix the problem quickly. Go on, push! But it's too heavy, even for the 3 of them. It's heavy. The ropes are cutting my hands. Go on, push with your feet. We would never leave a friend in the lurch in the desert. If we don't help each other, we're dead. We're all brothers on the road. A few hours later, and Rashid's friend can start up again. With such a monotonous terrain, you might think the desert is a boring place to drive through. Yet anything can happen here. These 2 trucks crashed into each other head-on. With so much visibility, what went wrong? Hey, what happened? Are you hurt? Oh, it's just the radiator that's damaged, is it? Yep, it's had it. The radiator's got a hole. Oh, this job's hell. We're like slaves. I know, it's my fault. My brakes didn't work. It was night, and I was coming up from that direction. I saw the other truck on the track. The driver had gone to relieve himself and had left the headlights on. But I didn't dare leave the trail to avoid it. If he had, he'd not just have gotten stuck in the sand, he'd have been risking his life. If you leave the trail on this stretch, you're likely to hit a mine, one of the thousands that litters the desert here, the legacy of the conflict when Somaliland broke away from Somalia. A British NGO is dealing with the mines and publishes new maps on a regular basis. They allow the drivers to know which areas have been cleared. Look, that zone's been cleared. That's safe. But over there, it's dangerous. You should never leave the track. Last month, a truck blew up. That's all that's left of the truck. Nothing else. They were all killed. God help me stay on the trek. The two truckers are alive, but their bosses will make them pay dearly for the accident. In Somaliland, the drivers themselves have to meet the costs of repairs to the vehicles. Look, I've lost everything. I'll wait until they bring me a new radiator. There are no tow trucks in the desert, no mobile phone signal. Rashid will let their boss know the two men have broken down. The spare parts will take 2 days, a week, or even several months to get to them. While they wait, they'll be towed to a place known as the Village of the Damned. This former small farming community has learned to profit from the truckers' misfortunes. It's transformed itself into a huge garage. Give me that key, the one underneath. The victims of the desert have proven a blessing to the villagers who have become mechanics and traders in vehicle parts. Look at the state of this tyre. The sand's worn it away. This driver's been stuck here for over a month. He was transporting kerosene for Hargeisa Airport. The sand got the better of his 40-year-old tanker. I broke down last month. I never got any new parts. I was in the middle of the desert when the engine gave up. I knew it was risky to drive over the sand. For drivers with nowhere to go, the village now boasts some basic accommodation. For a few cents, the truckers can spend the night in this wooden hut. There are about a dozen of us living here. All of us are waiting for parts. It's too cold to sleep at night, and there are a lot of snakes too. So we have to remain standing for hours and hours. The bush taxi driver has been trying to leave the Village of the Damned for 2 months. Now look, it's this one. But he's broke as his wealth disappeared in just a few minutes. I stopped just to get a drink. And then a house caught fire right next door. And then it spread really quickly and destroyed my car. There's no fireman here, there's no water, nothing to put a fire out with. And in Somaliland, there's no insurance either. I won't get reimbursed. I'm on my own now. Rashid checks his truck often. It's a precaution that so far has always paid off. Any delays are taken out of his pay, and his family depends on the state of his vehicle. His wife doesn't have a job, and he has 2 children to feed. Good, let's go. Rashid drives at night to make up for the time he spent helping his friend in the desert. In the dark, the hardest thing is to stay on the trail. Never take your eyes off the road, or you'll get bogged down in the sand. Look, he's stuck. He behaved like a complete novice. He drove off the track. I can't tow him or I'll get stuck too. It's too risky. We'll just keep going. The drivers have been trying for 6 hours to free their truck. We're screwed. The drivers are exhausted. Nobody will come and help us. They seem resigned to their fate. You know, it's our own fault. We never even noticed we were heading off the route. Help will come in daylight when passing drivers will help tow them out. Rashid is brave, but has his limits in the darkness of the night. Getting stuck in the sand isn't his only concern. I don't get out of my truck at night. I'm too scared. It's crawling with snakes and other poisonous reptiles. They come out at night, when it's cooler. During the day, the sun dries up every drop of moisture. At night, however, the water resurfaces and softens up the ground and creates hazardous, muddy sand traps. The best way to get vehicles unstuck is to put wood under the tires. But the problem is, in the desert, trees are as rare as water. So sticks will have to do. You'll never get anywhere like that. You have to go straight ahead. Rashid takes charge to speed things along. Good, that's good. Go now. And sometimes the only thing to do is to wait for daybreak. I'm not too worried. I'll make it across, no problem. They'll fill in the holes, and then I'm going to go this way, straight ahead, like that. Go on, put the shovel away, please. In the early morning, the desert seems a different place, a little more green. There is life, despite the unbearable heat. Water lies just under the sand, enough to enable small, stunted plants to survive. Rashid's been behind the wheel for 24 hours and has had enough. Rashid reaches a small oasis. The village is the halfway point on the journey. I'm dead. Shattered. I have to rest and get some sleep. Do you have any clean water? No, I've got no drinking water. What, nothing? All she has is some water that's been boiled. And to fight off fatigue, there's cat, which all the drivers chew. The small green leaves act as a stimulant, keeping them awake. It's a powerful drug that kicks in almost immediately. In just a few minutes, Rashid becomes very irritable, and his eyes bloodshot. No one cares about Somaliland. We're fed up. The whole world has abandoned us. Cat, I take it when I'm really tired. That's how much I need for the rest of the journey, you see. So it's a drug. Of course it's a drug. All the drivers use it. Cat is 100 times worse than whiskey. In the end, even the drug can't ward off fatigue forever. One hour later, Rashid starts up again. He has little choice. Any delays will cost him part of his pay. The track becomes more uneven, and it's impossible to go any faster. I'm going to drive all day and not stop. We'll be getting to a mountainous area, and I can't drive fast. Beyond the mountain range lie the capital and an end to his journey. But it's not an end to his problems. This truck's tires were new, yet no match for the sharp stones and the heat. The driver curses the Chinese-made tires. They're useless for this trail. The tires rip up as if they were made of cardboard. Behind him, a traffic jam is forming. There'll be many along soon. That's how it is. Got no choice. Rashid has found somewhere in the shade and told his mechanic to lend a helping hand. I've told my mechanic to go and help them. Why are you helping him? Oh, it's so we can get going again quickly. You see? An hour later, the incident is over and the track is finally cleared. From here on, every minute counts, as it's no longer possible to drive at night. The route here is constantly changing. Huge holes can appear without warning on bends in the trail. These holes don't create themselves. They're man-made by these poverty-stricken people willing to do anything to make a few dollars. They're looking for columbite, a mineral ore worth its weight in gold. It's a rare substance, but needed for the electronics in mobile phones and satellites. The head of this group is Molid. He's the only one who knows how to find the precious ore. Here's the columbite. Chinese companies buy these small stones from them for virtually nothing. It's hard to make a living from this. There are 10 of them, poorly equipped, yet they manage to extract up to 800 kilos a month. The back-breaking work earns them barely $130, which they share. That's a tough business. But we have hope. And sometimes we also manage to find semi-precious stones, such as this aquamarine. If it's well cut, it's worth as much as $80,000 a kilo. Dreams of riches that pushes them to dig with bare hands and also attracts the young. Of course not. We don't go to school. We prefer to come here to the mines. We're not interested in school. Here, we might get rich. My dream is to buy a very expensive sports car. This time, the diggers have only found 30 kilos of the ore. The next step is to check its quality, which will decide how much it's worth. Maulid has a wife, whom he didn't want us to meet, and 3 kids. He's proud that the money he makes from the ore allows him to send his kids to school. I want to be like my father. But he takes it upon himself to teach them to recognize the minerals. Go on, help me look for bits of aquamarine and columbite. That's aquamarine. That's columbite. Maulid quickly seems disappointed, however. The stones are poor quality. How much will that make? Enough for a week, maybe. Maulid believes that if his country was recognized internationally, he could quit working at the mine. Because the desert in which his remote village is situated hides a treasure that's unique and that could one day make them all rich. The guardian of this exceptional treasure is called Musa. For now, he and a few shepherds are the only people to benefit from the discovery unearthed by French archaeologists a decade ago. Dozens of prehistoric drawings scattered over the mountainside, reminiscent of the Paleolithic art found in caves across Europe. Locals hope that once their country becomes safe, tourists from all over the world will flock here in their thousands. And the old man has already got his tourist speech ready. So you can clearly see the paintings on the wall up there. Giants must have painted them. They lived here 6,000 years ago. They slept in the forest, and they came here to paint in this cave. But the treasure, subject to the elements, is slowly disappearing. No one is protecting them from the bad weather.
All.
The wind, the sand, is destroying everything. Look at this drawing. It's fading away. If nothing is done soon, it'll all disappear. Rashid has come through the mountains without any problems. Flat land, he floors the gas pedal. If he arrives ahead of schedule, he might even double his salary. If you're not too late, you have time to unload and load up again. That way you can turn right round and head off once more. Rashid makes about $135 for each return journey. It's about 3 times the average salary in Somaliland. It's a comfortable wage for the drivers, but one for which they risk their lives. The capital, Hargeisa, is the country's largest town and the pride of all Somaliland. 1 million live here. It was totally destroyed during the Civil War 20 years ago and has gradually been rebuilt, but without a penny of foreign aid, and in a somewhat haphazard way, as witnessed by its electrical system. Rashid has taken 2 days to cover fewer than 350 kilometers. He tries to find more freight as his truck is being unloaded. Now leave me alone, I have to hurry. I haven't even washed for 48 hours. Rashid will soon find another cargo. It's market day. Not that many years ago, the route would have been covered on foot and using a much respected animal known as the ship of the desert. But with the arrival of trucks, their glory days are behind them. Now it's raised mainly for its meat. Somaliland is one of the world's largest exporters of camels. They sell throughout the Middle East. Here, thousands of animals are sold 3 times a week. No, you can't do that to me. I don't agree with your price. Let go. Stop, he's filming us. The camera isn't welcome. The price has to remain a secret. And to keep it so, a sign language has developed as both buyer and seller place one hand under a cloth to negotiate the price with their fingers. Camels go for as much as $1,300 each. To us, the camel is everything. Every Somalilander has a camel. Without it, he couldn't live. It's our favorite meat. Makes us strong. The hump, the legs, those are what makes us men. All of it is so good. According to the locals, eating camel meat makes you virile and fearless. The animal might first appear placid, but it has a distinctly strong character. Getting one on board a truck takes a lot of guts. Its kick has crippled more than one human. But the men mean business, however, as each camel brings in the equivalent of 65 cents. For that kind of money, they use any method to get them on, even at the cost of injuring themselves. These animals are all heading to Saudi Arabia, the largest consumer of camel meat. What money the tough camel men like Ismail make is often spent the same day. When my wife's not around and I've nothing else to do, this is where I come to hang out with my friends. The small green shack is strictly men only. This is where they can buy a bundle of cat for $7. Drivers aren't the only ones to chew the drug. Just about everyone does. This is what's killing us. Tobacco and cat. It's killing us, but we can't do without it. The green-coloured shops litter Hargeisa, but by early afternoon, they're often sold out. There's nothing left. Yeah, you'll have to wait. When the drugs run out, the whole town seems to hold its breath.
Every day $20.
I buy $10 worth every day. Why is it so important for you? We don't have any work. We have nothing. I'm a graduate of Hargeisa University in business management, and I'm unemployed. That's why I chew gat. Vehicles blasting their horns announce the arrival of fresh supplies of gat. No time to waste, the shops have to be resupplied. The delivery men will get paid later.
This is cocaine like cocaine.
This is our kind of cocaine. The customers throw themselves onto the sacks and everything gets sold in just a few minutes. In Somaliland, gat is no joking matter. If the drug ever ran out, it could spark a civil war. The last Somali dictator learnt that to his cost. When he dared to ban gat, the people of Somaliland took up arms and chased him out. Nowadays, two extremely wealthy families control the drug traffic. Neither was willing to be interviewed, but one did allow one of their delivery men to be filmed. Mohammed has been able to upgrade his engine thanks to the drug money. I added a turbo to my truck so it would go faster. And now it can hit 150 kilometers an hour. We're the best drivers in the business, even if we don't have a license. Every evening, Mohammed, aged 32, leaves HQ at top speed. In Somaliland, there's not enough rain to grow gat, a plant that needs humid conditions to thrive. It grows abundantly in Yemen, Kenya, and in particular, the neighboring Ethiopian mountains. The Ethiopian border is less than 50 kilometers away. But the drug is loaded at a secret warehouse during the night to maintain maximum discretion. Is there much left to load? No, that's it. Mohammed loads up 4 tons of the drug. Okay, let's go now then. The competition is fierce. The shops purchase from whoever delivers first. Gat is consumed fresh. Dried leaves are less powerful. I'm transporting over $250,000 worth of gat. It's a bit like fresh fruit, you know. You need to distribute it quickly or it loses value. It all needs to be delivered in less than an hour. To save time, the bags are thrown out to the shopkeepers from the still moving truck. There you are, you got 2. As he reaches the suburbs of Hargeisa, Mohammed gets a call from his boss. Yep. Hello. Yeah, we're coming, it's okay. We're late, we'll have to speed up. Well, do you want some? Do you? You're not scared of being in the back? I love this work. It's dangerous in the back, but it's so exciting. Not everyone can do this. To Mohammed's relief, he's the first to reach the country's largest seller of gat. The man buys 3 of the 4 tons he's carrying. There's pandemonium. The suppliers attack the bundles in a frenzy while Mohammed keeps an eye on the transactions. It's not unknown for a bundle or 2 to quietly disappear in the chaos. It's always a madhouse when we deliver the gat. These people have been waiting for hours. It's 9 in the morning, yet there are already crowds of customers. Surprisingly, maybe gat does have one serious competitor. It's a drink that sells as widely as gat and is also delivered first thing in the morning. It also makes you strong and is best consumed cold. It's so good. Like honey. It's camel milk and has the same reputation as camel meat. It makes you virile. It's strictly for those with strong constitutions. Abdul is a veteran milkman. Each day for 40 years, he's been heading out to the desert nomads. There are no machines here. Everything is done by hand. The fresh milk is then transferred into these old plastic oil containers. I'll take this milk to Berbera. It'll take me about 2 hours. Won't the milk curdle? Of course not. It'll still be good. The containers of milk are transported unprotected from the sun and hanging off the back of the truck. In his old pickup, the journey could take more than 2 hours. The road is really bad and my vehicle is a wreck. Sometimes the conditions are so bad that I can't even finish the trip. Look how worn out it is. Nothing really works anymore. The suspension's had it. Never mind the headlights, none of them work. See this hole in my windscreen? That was made by a bullet. Someone opened fire. It went through here. Luckily, I wasn't injured. Abdul is hoping his grandson will take over from him and has taught him to check the tires before each journey. I always take my shoes off to drive. I prefer being barefoot so I can feel the pedals and not drive too quickly. To start, I don't have a key, but look, it works. The road to Berbera is 50 kilometers of dirt track across the desert that has already done so much damage to his ancient four-wheel drive. When we looked at his car's undercarriage, we saw that the steering device for the front left wheel was tied together with leather straps, and that the sole of a shoe was acting as a shock absorber. A patched-up vehicle whose biggest challenge is stopping once it starts. It's been ages since its brakes worked. So to stop it, Abdul simply slows down gradually. There's no emergency brake either. There are mines all around this road. Just 1 week ago, a young nomad was blown up. His stick hit a mine. I think he was killed. But I trust in God. And only 40% of our land has been mined. Could be worse. Shepherds wait alongside the road to sell him their milk. Go on, hurry up. This time it's goat's milk. In the desert, the men are quite macho, and it starts at an early age. Fill this up, quickly. For those who maybe don't know better, Abdul also takes paying passengers on board. The shepherds are off to market to sell their goats. Mind his legs. I can squeeze in a dozen at the back. I charge about $1.50 each. For now, this woman is smiling. The men of the desert are more used to the gentle rocking of their camels than being rattled in Abdul's coffin on wheels. at the back, the young woman soon feels sick. Women, they're always trouble, especially among the nomads. They're not used to it, and they get car sick as soon as I set off. Come on, hurry up. I can't really stop there because my brakes are broken. The old lady, exhausted by her long trek through the desert, is too weak to climb on board. Oddly, no one offers to help her. The young woman in red has had enough. You're not well? No. You want to throw up? Yes. The desert is a harsh place where everyone struggles to survive. The weak do not belong here, and it's clearly the case in Somaliland. Such callous human relationships extend beyond the desert and into the towns. Abdul reaches Berbera 2 hours behind schedule. He's immediately surrounded by angry milk distributors. It's midday, and they'll be hard-pressed to sell the milk this late. A substantial loss of income to these impoverished people. Hey, come on, calm down, calm down. You'll each get what's yours. So which is my goat? Which one? I've had enough of waiting. The grandson doesn't appreciate criticism, and despite his age, he spits on those who are complaining. As to the goats, he simply kicks them out of the pickup. I'm fed up hearing about your milk. Take it and go. Go on, take this one. Go away. See, we've already finished. Thanks to my grandson. It may not look like much, but Abdul's dilapidated vehicle gives him considerable power. No customer dares complain about his grandson's behavior. They don't want to upset the milkman. They depend on his goodwill to sell them the milk that he alone collects in the desert. Berbera is the nation's only port. The wrecks of old tankers off the coast are misleading. The port itself is modern and capable of handling huge vessels, such as this one heading to Saudi Arabia, with the camels purchased in the market the same morning. 1,000 camels are squeezed onto the docksides and, like elephants, never forget. They launch a few subtle and well-aimed kicks against those who may have mistreated them earlier. When one of the animals is too tired to move, drastic action is needed. He doesn't want to get up, boss. The animals are, for the moment, the country's only real wealth, but not for much longer. The ground below Somaliland is rich with petrol, and international oil companies are beginning to show interest. Oil that might make Somaliland rich, and finally recognized as a state by the rest of the world.
Hey ya le 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 hey yo.